All right, welcome to Sports Talk, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, my name is Geoffrey Driscoll. I'm with anysportanytime.ca, and with me, as always, is Jim Kerr from Kersey's Notebook. Check it out online. Did you like how I said that? As always.
As always, yeah.
This is our first
we went to school together.
We went to school together, as always, yeah.
Inseparable ever since.
Inseparable, exactly.
Except for the times when we weren't together.
Weren't together at all. Yeah.
In spirit, though, I think.
Oh, yeah. The plan is to have a couple of video blogs every couple of weeks. Kersey here is an expert on every sport, so I'm going to, well, most sports, or some sports, at least hockey. At least hockey. So I'm going to ask the questions, and he's going to do the answers like an expert.
It's a lot of pressure, but I think I'm ready.
I think you got it. You'll be all right. So first thing up is the big news these days is Khabibulin. What's going on with him? He had his day in court. He got convicted and for drunk driving, extreme drunk driving.
Extreme.
Yeah, so there was the point. Yeah, extreme, right?
Yeah.
So there was the .08 is the regular.
He did a 360 in the air as they pulled him over.
Right,
it was
in
really
his Ferrari
cool.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was really something to see. Red Bull was there. It was good.
All on camera, thank God. Right. So, and the extreme drunk driving was the .15. He got convicted
over that.
Over that.
He was I think 164.
1.6,
which is pretty
crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
Right. So he gets convicted, so he's guilty, he gets convicted, and then he goes for sentencing, and they give him the minimum 30 days, which is what everybody thought, right?
Yeah. I think most people figured that.
Yeah. So then he appeals it. That seems to be the thing that everybody's doing right now. He's going to push this forward. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think if it was me, I'd probably appeal it too. I think it's it's just kind of what you do. You want to get as little punishment as possible, I suppose, and his lawyer did argue that he was still suffering from his back issues, but that's a whole other issue, because if he's still suffering from his back issues at this point, that doesn't look good.
Right.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because 30 days in jail, if he ends up with that, I don't know what that does to his status with the Oilers. Maybe they'll have a flexible sentence, something like that, but more importantly, the border issues. Getting into Canada, getting back into the U.S. might be an issue, and you have to think maybe too much of a hassle for the Oilers to put up with. I wonder.
I mean, you've got the border issue. You've got also what if the 30 days takes place? So he pushes this on, right? Right now, if he did this 30 days, he misses training camp and maybe 2 preseason games.
Yeah.
So that's that, but he misses training camp. He hasn't played in,
well, he's still
having
his back, as far as I know.
So what about, if he pushes this, the 30 days, maybe he still gets 30 days, and maybe it's in March, when we need him the most, or what? It
seems sometimes, though, they give you a certain period of time to report to jail. So it might be a case of, well, I have to work until blank, so I'll serve it in the summer kind of thing. But I don't know.
Who knows, right?
They're pretty serious about it down there in Phoenix. They've recently, bumped the laws up to. 30 days in jail. That's a pretty good way to deter someone from.
No kidding.
I don't want to spend half a day in jail.
No, that's exactly it.
I'm too pretty.
You are too pretty. That's right. And Khabibulin, you're not going to get much rehab on that back.
No.
Per se.
No.
If you're in jail.
But if his back still is not fully recovered, which in June or so it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's another issue
issue.
See, you're starting goalie realistically 40, 50 plus games.
Hopefully 50, right?
Yeah. And if he's not able to do that, well, it's going to be last year all over again.
That's exactly it.
With JDD and Devin Dubnyk. Yeah.
Straight answer then. Straight question is Martin Gerber the answer?
Well, I wondered that when they signed him. A lot of people immediately said American Hockey League depth, but
he's got the 2-way contract when the other 2 goaltenders don't. Other 3 total.
And I think that's why people said that. But these guys aren't stupid. They knew there was a very good chance their starting goalie per se was going to be maybe in jail.
No kidding.
Was this the NFL?
Yeah, that's right.
But
exactly.
I figured that was kind of an insurance policy of sorts. I don't know. Marty Gerber is not the best, but I think he had an okay season in the old KHL.
That's right.
But I read somewhere on Twitter, I think it was James Myrtle from the Globe and Mail saying, well, he was making $700,000 tax-free in Russia, so why would he come expecting to play in the AHL where he'd make, I think it was $200,000 or something like that, not tax-free.
That just doesn't make sense.
Some people said, well, he just wants to get back in the North American game. But
is this how to do it?
Well, the way you get back in the North American game is by playing well over there, and
That's
then
right.
you know, it's not like the old days where you know, read something in the paper. Oh, Marty Gerber did. Like, we could probably watch those games.
That's right.
You know, find them somewhere on the internet.
Exactly.
But scouting is a very far-reaching game these days, and you know, you'd know. So it's not. I don't think he's take a really, really low contract just to get his name back out there. I figure they must have that in the back of their mind.
Exactly.
Especially with two really young goalies like they have that didn't have a great goal last season.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, from that, let's go into there's still. I mean, when we signed Marty Gerber, my question was, what about Anthony Niemi, or what about Price, or somebody like?
Yeah.
Was there somebody we could have picked up? I mean, what did Niemi sign for? $2.5 million.
I think so,
in San Jose. I mean,
and Price was 5.5 over 2
so years.
Similar.
You know why?
If my math's right, which it probably isn't. I'm not gonna lie to you.
This isn't a math show, luckily. This is a sports show.
We're journalists.
Exactly. So there's still a lot of unrestricted free agents out there.
Even a Ray Emery, I'd take a risk on.
See, that's the thing.
But then again, if you've got an injured goalie, you might be a little hesitant to jump on a guy coming back from an injury just because of what happened to us last year and what might be happening this year.
That's right.
But even a Jose Theodore, I don't think he's signed anywhere yet. He's coming off a 30-win season, and I think he had above 30 the year before. Like he was playing for. Well, yeah, I don't think you can use the he was playing for Washington argument with a Washington.
That's right.
Where Mike Green, your top defenseman, is usually behind the other team's net.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Reincarnation of Paul Coffey.
Even I believe Vesatoskal is still out there. He's struggled a little bit, but he's still, I guess, with goaltending too, it's a lot of right situation kind of stuff. You know, you can be on look at Roberto Luongo. Yeah. If you looked at his stats, you might not have thought much of him.
No, that's the thing.
Oh, well, that's 50 shots a night. Okay,
that might be a little
82
different.
games a season, right?
In Florida, right?
Yeah.
So but I mean, let's talk about some of the unrestricted free agents that have signed. I mean, you look at, or guys who haven't signed yet, you look at Bill Guerin's or contract guys like that.
There's a lot of the old guard. There's some real grizzled veterans, the Owen Nolans, even Robert Lang. He had a pretty good season last year, but he's as yet unsigned. We're starting to see a bit more, though, in the last couple of days here, and probably in the next few days, the kind of, the ones that have been waiting on them, maybe, and finally they're starting to come. Like, I don't see the Cogliano deal taking too much longer.
No.
Same with Gagne. You kind of knew he was going to come back. You know, it just takes a little time. Colorado signed Chris Stewart, I think today, 28 goals last year, something like that. But there are a lot of guys out there. It seems like a lot of depth guys out there. A few of the more highly offensive-minded players have gone overseas. Just a couple of them. But I don't. It's interesting. There's a lot of guys out there now that probably in years past would have been snapped up already, but right now could be a sign of the kind of climate these days. But I wouldn't even mind seeing a Darcy Tucker here.
Oh yeah,
he's gritty. I've really disliked him for a lot of the time, but it's because it's the same way that a lot of people disliked a Claude Lemieux or a
great to have on your team, but hate to have him playing against you. That's right.
Yeah, but that could add some sandpaper.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Are we seeing the I would say the decline of the middle class player? You know, you used to see players who have been in the league, journeymen, get the 2.5-3 million for a couple of years. Depth guys, third, fourth year players, but they've been in the league, 7 years now. You can get the contracts. You look at a guy like Fernando Pisani signing for $500,000. Not to say he's not worth. I think he's not worth any more than $500,000. But a journeyman like that signing in Chicago for $500,000 when in years past he might have got. Might have got 1.5 or something like that.
Well, you look at the kind of contracts that like a LaRocque got. Yeah. And you go, well, he's going to play 5 minutes a night and he's making over $1 million. Yeah. Well, that's not right. Yeah. With Pisani, I think it's more of a, if he has a good season this year, then they'll bring him back kind of thing, because he's had a tough go. Yeah. I mean, with the sickness and injury and stuff.
Ulcerative colitis.
Yeah. So it's kind of a, here's a contract. play your way into it.
Which is
and a lot of guys play their best in the last year of a contract.
That's right.
I don't know why.
Yeah, why would that be?
I've never
so
understood
weird.
that. Yeah. But this way, it kind of that sort of a contract is like, okay, well, here you go.
Yeah.
Come in with a clean slate, shows what you can do. But the middle class player, I think, has been kind of hurt by the rise of these massive contracts.
Giant contracts.
And at the same time, there was even the last couple of years, there was players that were way overpriced, even a Pisani, but there was players that were way overpriced, and that sort of brought up the market for some of these guys, like a
Sean Horkoff, you could say, you know.
I'm thinking more like the kind of Todd Marchand.
Oh,
they're a good guy
sure.
to have on the team, you know. They'll put a couple goals in, but you know, I don't know what his last contract was, but there's players like that who all of a sudden you look at what they're making, you're like, really?
Yeah.
I could probably do that.
Good for that?
I mean, not really.
I don't know, yeah. Okay.
Maybe in my younger days.
Right.
But yeah, there's. I think we're going to see a lot of these players swept up in the next little bit here. But where to? I guess that'll be fun to watch. But there's still some pretty legit goaltenders out there. There's a couple, and there's still some good forwards out there. Even a defenseman, Marc-Andre Bergeron.
Yeah.
He's people like to rip on him a little bit, but he's got a hell of a shot, and he did fairly well for Montreal last year.
He can play a good second power play, you know. Power play line. Yeah.
And of course the other storyline would be, is Surrey coming back? Is he going? Is he staying? What are they gonna do with his contract?
Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's a big hole. That's a $5.6 million cap hit that's just sitting there, you know. Like we could get other people. Maybe we could have signed the Emmy or somebody like that with that kind of money.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe they tried. You don't know what happens. Kind of in the back doors here, but
no, you really don't.
RFAs, Bobby Ryan.
Yeah, Bobby Ryan. What's going on there? Like,
a lot of people are saying he wants a certain term so that he can be a UFA at the same time as Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf, and they'll go play for Florida so they can hang out with LeBron,
Chris, Wade,
Dwayne.
Yeah.
But people are speculating that's because those three guys are a fairly good top unit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
who knows, right? Well, they combined for almost 200 points last year. Something crazy like that.
And people say, well, maybe Bobby Ryan's only as good as his line mates kind of thing, but he scored some good goals. He scored some very nice goals.
That's true, but I mean, you look at Geoffrey Lupul. Didn't Geoffrey Lupul play on that line for a little while?
Dustin Penner.
Dustin Penner played on that line for a little while?
I don't like when people say that, though, because if you're good enough to put the puck in the net with good players, I want you on my team.
No, that's true, but I mean...
Some guys aren't superstars, but...
No, that's true.
But I think Bobby Ryan isn't classified that way, because he's... You see some of the highlight reel goals he's scored.
The spinoramas, stuff like that. No, he's got some moves for sure.
But he's holding out, and I'm sure they'll get it resolved.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised he's holding out for so long. But
it's the term of the contract. That's the thing.
You actually saw that with Sam Gagner, and I hear that's what you're seeing with Andrew Cogliano as well. Is term of contract is what they're looking for. So yeah,
I'm sure they'll get that worked out with Cogliano because I think he will be an important part of the team.
Yeah.
And I don't think Mike Connor's coming back because Magnus Pajärvi took 91.
Oh, didn't see that.
Yeah, well, he was at they had the photo shoot for the rookie cards yesterday or the day before.
Oh, the Superstars, or the Young Stars, whatever.
Yeah.
He's wearing 91.
Yeah.
That's a good indication right there.
Chopping the half of the last name off.
Yeah.
His brother plays pro hockey in Sweden, but goes with the other half of the last name.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they're sharing it.
Yeah.
And they have a third brother that just gets the hyphen.
No, just the hyphen. Yeah, that's good. At least he'll be known.